Hello, good evening, and a warm welcome to the PQD team initiative, as we call quality members. What the PQD team has done, as you all know, is to understand the requirements of the members of the district. And we found that there are many members who have joined Toastmasters recently, and they have challenges to think about projects, to craft their speeches and give speeches. So what we are doing as the PQD team is to come up with a program by which we'll be helping the members complete their speeches on time. And this is the part one of the quality member initiative. And within that, as you know, the first subpart was the pathways adoption and submission of awards, which is very important. We found that on 25th of November, there were 777 members who were yet to adopt pathways, and which means that in a division, there are at least 60 to 80 members who are yet to adopt pathways. So our humble submission is that as the lead for division, as division directors or trainers, you might want to discuss within your group to ensure that the new members, because they're paid money, would want to onboard pathways. Then what we did next was to help the members understand what level 1 speeches are. And the training that I personally conducted, what we did was to walk the members through the 4 speeches that are required to complete level 1. And I think some of you had attended that training as well. So what we had suggested was that if the division directors also attend, they would get a peek into how you can customize the training in your own way and do it in your own division so that your members are able to give speeches. Giving speeches means that they would be booking their slots, there would be regular meetings, and the members will become quality members on the long run. So the third part of that initiative of the quality members, first part is the level 2 speeches. And this is where we requested each division to take a lead on one of the paths and to choose a path in which the trainer would have completed the path of, not the path, level 2 of that path, so that the trainer is able to then train their own members in the division to do so. Now, that is one agenda. The second agenda that we had was when we looked into the DCP goals, we realized that it needs just 4 members to achieve 3 DCP goals if they complete level 1 and level 2. So that is the hidden agenda also of the district, that if you just can encourage 4 members, the same 4 members complete level 1 and complete level 2, they would be able to, the club will be able to achieve 3 DCP goals. And with the administrative goals, they would easily achieve 5 DCP goals. So which is one of the objectives of the PQD team or the district targets as well. So we are creating a platform in which it becomes easy for the district officers, which includes the division directors and the area directors, to understand that your clubs can become distinguished very easily, very quickly as well. So if you have 4 members doing at least 7 speeches each, then you have 28 speeches ready, right? Which would mean that you would have at least if you have 10 meetings, if you have done so, then there would be 10 regular meetings to ensure that these 4 members complete their level 2, which means that the clubs would have regular meetings. There would be lesser dropouts because they have prepared their speeches in advance. So what we have seen is we have been able to help those who came in to understand that the level 1 speeches are easy to do. And today, what we are going to do is to understand and see how each division can do their own training, come together as a group, create breakout rooms, and ensure that the members who come in are able to go home or walk away with the ability to craft 3 speeches or more as it is required in level 2. All right. Any question thus far on the agenda or anything that you want to ask right now before I start? I just wanted to take it slow in the beginning so that we are all on the same page. So we understand why we are doing this and why it is important for the divisions to also find time to ensure that whether you do it at the area level, whether you do it at the club level, or whether you do it at the division level. If you do this, your clubs complete distinguished club program goals, as well as the members will become energized because they now know how to craft speeches, and there will be regular meetings as well. So that is why we are doing this. All right. So if there are no comments, nothing on the chat as well. So we will get into, this is more of a trainer of trainers discussion. So I will not be training the members, so to say, to ensure that they complete speeches, but we will discuss and see how we can ensure that each division which has taken one path to do their trainings individually would do so. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 divisions, or maybe Dipesh, you are from Division D or Division D. Please rename so that I understand which division are you from. Dipesh? Or can
yes,
Anjali
Dr.
or
Suman, I'll do it right away.
sorry?
Yes, I'm from Division D. I'll rename myself.
Okay, so we are 2 people from Division D. That's good. All right. So whatever time we have left, we will do some insightful discussions. Please contribute to the discussion because this is a training that you are going to do. I'm only here to give you guidelines as to what may be the approach that you want to take and ensure that your members have a wholesome experience of attending the training. They find value in the training that you give, and the members go back having been able to prepare the speeches as we move along. So obviously we'll start with questions. Level 2 projects. How many paths are there? It's a stupid question to ask, but still.
11.
11. Great. Anybody who says there are more in the pipeline? Have you read the latest leader news that TI is going to add 2 more paths? Initially, there was 10, right, when it started, and then they added 1. Do you know which one was the 11th?
Humorously speaking, I guess.
Engaging humor, right?
Engaging humor.
But I was just joking, pulling a leg. There's only 11. There's no 2 additional paths. So just trying to test your knowledge of whether you are receiving emails and reading emails and all. Gagan was already getting into the website and seeing whether which are the 2 additional paths. No, there are only 11. All right. Okay, so that we know, right? So there are 11 paths. Can you see the screen, right? Those who can, give me a thumbs up or do something so that I know. Those who I can't see visually, if you are able to maybe use the chat. Okay, fine. Thank you. So now, do you know what kind of projects are there in level 2? I'm sure that you have all done your levels. So what paths or what projects have you done? Can you write or just raise a hand so that I can play so that there are no two people speaking at the same time? Okay, Kumar. Kumar, I saw you raising your hand.
In level 2, there are 3 projects, I believe.
Okay.
Understanding your communication style, leadership style, and mentorship.
And mentorship. Okay. So Kumar says that. Shantanu, I thought you wanted to say something. Kumar, can you mute yourself? Yes. Shantanu, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, I was just saying the same. Mentorship, leadership, and communication. Those are the 3 main which are there.
All right. So do you, is that common for all the paths? Kumar?
There's some difference in a few. There's a bit of difference in a few. I have, because I've done 2 paths and I've seen a bit of a difference in them. It's not the same.
What is the difference? What is the bit difference?
That I don't remember. But I've seen different parts.
Good. It's good to be honest. Thank you, Shantanu. I saw Alpha's hand, then I'll come to Kumar. Alpha, you want to say something?
Yeah, level 2. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
So level 2 is about learning about your styles.
Uh-huh.
The third project, mentorship, is compulsory. Like it's the same for all paths, but project 1 and project 2 can be different. Some paths have, most paths have leadership and communication, but some don't. They have other, like for example, one path that I did had active listening instead of the communication project.
Okay, so we have somebody who says there's some difference, a bit difference that Shantanu was saying. Gagan, any thoughts? If you were asked as a division director, what would be your response by your members? Here we can share very openly that we don't know, or
no, sir, I don't have knowledge on that, proper knowledge on that.
Okay, great. Okay, good, Gagan. Thank you. Anybody else might want to venture or write something or say something? Because this is important, right? Because as leaders in Toastmasters, if we are not aware of what are the projects in level 2, we are not talking about level 3, 4, 5, but these are basic levels, no? Something that a new member would want, and they would want to do level 1, and they would want to do level 2. At least you are encouraging them to do level 2, because if they don't complete level 2, they can't compete in contest also. They cannot do mentoring also. That level 2 is the basic hurdle that a new member must go through. And at least we need to know. I was sincerely hoping that there would be a representative from every division, because sometimes as leaders also, we do not know, no? I don't claim to know everything. I also do not know, but there must be a forum to exchange these ideas and say that, okay, hey, remember, we have done this. Do you know about this? And there's no harm in saying that I do not know. Yes, publicly we can't say that, right? But within the leadership team, I think it's absolutely okay to say, so that you can learn, right? We don't come with, there's no, small USB drive that is put inside our head, a chip saying that, okay, we know all the levels. We don't, right? So here they are. If you can read, there are 8 different projects. Okay. So at least because you have attended this training, you know that there are 8 different projects in level 2. Right. And tomorrow you can say with confidence that, yes, there are 8 projects in level 2. Okay. So I've hidden that, the other part. Now, can you tell me just a guess also, which projects are under which paths? Alpha had said something that she talked about active listening. That was under which paths, Alpha?
It was under persuasive influence.
Okay, so now everybody knows that active listening is one project under persuasive listening. Have you any time gone through this matrix to know which projects are there in what? Anybody in this team? We are doing this closed room training, right? So it's okay to say, I do not know. It's okay to say, this is okay. But if I get some feedback, then I will be energized to say more things. All right, so that's a new emoticons that I can see from Gagan's side, right? And this goes to our PKD team as well, so as a PKD team, you may be asked, so at least now you know that there are 8 projects. So fair enough. I will share this with this team, those who are trainers, so that then you can also kind of engage your members in a similar way, right? Kumar, any idea?
I need quite a lot of time to think, but yeah, can't be sure.
Yeah, not sure, right? So it's fine. So this is what it is. Okay. If you see, introduction to Toastmasters mentoring is compulsory, right? It is present in all the paths. Then understanding our communication style is in 8th path, right? And then understanding your leadership is in 6 of them. And understanding your leadership style is in 6. Then comes active listening in 4. Then the other 4 are in just one each, specialized path in which, say, in engaging humor, you know your sense of humor and connect with your audience, right? In leadership development, we have managing time. Effective body language comes under presentation mastery, right? So this is how it is. So I think if you now see this matrix, the reason why I made this is, one is to make us all aware that this is how it is being spread. And the second is that those divisions who are combining their efforts will now know that you may not need to do a breakout session for mentoring, the introduction to Toastmasters mentoring, because even if you combine, that one path can be done by one trainer. Okay, so this is up to the divisions who combine and work it together. Or what you can do is, for that, you can have 2-3 trainers divide your work and ensure that that particular module is completed, right? And then after that, the communication and leadership style is most common, but along with the paths, you can then design your own way. I would say that one project, it will take you at least 25 minutes or 20 to 25 or 30 minutes. So your training should be at least an hour and a half. So that you just need to, the members need to finish just 3 projects. That's it, right? So a lot of new members do not know that they just need to do 3 projects. In level 1, you are doing 4 projects. Of course, with the 4th one, you repeat that project, so that possibly makes it 5, right? And 3 here, it's basically 8 speeches, right? And then in level 1, you have to do the evaluation part. That's a different thing, right? So that could be it could be in any other meeting. So if a new member is made to know of this, that it is not difficult, it is easy to complete 2 levels, right? The first level, those of you who could not attend might want to watch the video. It will be uploaded and tweak it in your own way. You'll find that crafting 4 speeches will be fairly easy. And here, what we are going to learn is to see how we can teach our members to complete level 2. All right, so is that okay? So any response will help. We are on the same path, right?
Yep.
So this matrix will be, you'll be able to let your members know. even within the district, maybe you want to have an internal discussion with your division council if you have, or maybe your area directors group or whatever, and just tell them that it is not difficult. It is to make them understand. But as a trainer, you need to realize that these trainings are targeted towards new members. So maybe the old members might feel that, hey, I already know this is there. But as we saw, they do not know the entire path, the entire matrix. So it could be knowledge sharing. It's not that you need to prove that I know more than them, but it is just to make them realize that it is not difficult. It is fairly easy to get these things done. All right, so we are okay with this? Yeah. Yes, Kagan.
Sir, just a question as an audience. Can you explain the thought process? Like, few of the parameters are in good number here across the paths. Like introduction to mentoring is 11, but if you see managing time is only at 1. So maybe a person can ask that kind of question, how they have distributed this metrics. So what is your thought process for it?
My personal, again, this is not Toastmasters. From what I've understood by reading, I've only undertaken one path. I've just started a new path, right? I'm yet to complete one path for myself. But with the literature that I've learned, communication and leadership is something that is very basic to the requirements that we do, right? And mentoring is, they have made it mandatory. And that is what we also as members say, that as soon as a new member comes in, do you have a mentor or not? Because if you do not know how to mentor or become a mentee, then you, as a Toastmaster, you are not deriving so much out of it. So mentoring is something that even in my visit to Delhi this time, I said that as soon as a new member comes in, they must be paired up with a mentor. Right? So as soon as a mentor needs to be paired, the person must be qualified to become a mentor, right? And to become a mentor, you have to go through certain nuances of understanding Toastmasters so that you can then help. In terms of age, in terms of having done many projects, you might be a senior, but senior does not mean that you have the ability to mentor, right? So that's what we learn. So in the others, I feel that for the specific projects that has been taken, these are, even when I suggest people, when new people come in, I said that the first thing that you possibly want to take up is presentation mastery, but I leave it up to them, saying that it's your call, right? And the second is I say that take up dynamic leadership. So this is my personal advice to people, right? But if I see certain people who are already have the ability and they are, are able to speak well and they have certain experience, then maybe it's good to challenge them with motivational strategies or innovative planning, or if they want to learn humor, then that's where you send them. But we make them realize that, look, these are a specialized path. Right? If you look at it, out of 11, there are just 4 paths which are specialized. One is presentation mastery, because that's where the body language comes in. It's engaging humor is one. If you remove engaging humor, there are only 6 projects. If you remove leadership development, there are only 5 projects. Like if you remove presentation mastery, there are only 4 projects that you need to do. Right? Even as trainers, even as a group, if you master these 4 training, you generally get over 70% or 80% of your members' requirement. Even in a club, if you see how many people will take engaging humor, maybe out of 10 people, only 1 or 2, right? So if that focus is there, it becomes easy for us to help the members become better, because when they come in, they really do not know. We tell them to take the assessment. Okay, that gives us certain recommendations. But if they have a mentor, then if they know the make of what they want, then it is easy to slowly help them with if they have want to learn presentation and so on and so forth. Maybe that's the basic that you want to look into. right? And that's my personal take. I hope a slightly long answer to a short question. Okay, so I think this matrix will able to give you a sense as to how easy it is even for a trainer or a group of trainers. Like there are 11 divisions, so I think what I've seen is 4 divisions have taken together, another 4, and then the last 3 division JK, IJK are together, right? So you can pick up what you pick up on the particular paths, and you'll see that the others are there. So what you can also do is, as trainers, you might want to combine your efforts, because even if you do separate paths, most of the paths, at least 8 of them, will have communication style. So within the trainers also, you can share your ideas, or if you attend somebody else's training, then you'll see that what they have done well, the good things you pick up, and maybe suggest also where you can improve, right? Understanding leadership style, there are 6 of them. So 6 trainers will be doing that. So you can share your knowledge also and take it further. Active listening, there are 4 paths which does that. So at least 4 trainers can combine and say that, okay, I'm going to do this. Can you do this? So it's up to individuals to take that initiative and do it. PQD team can help you to say that, okay, this trainer is going to do the same project. Would you like to discuss before you deliver, or at least attend? Just listen, see how he or she has done, and learn from that so that your training can become better. And this, I feel, is something that should not be just done once, but as new members join, I'm sure that as the district moves ahead from December onwards, we will be trying to add at least 2,000 to 2,500 new members till June, right? They all will need this hand holding at some point in time, maybe in February or March or whatever, right? New members will need how to adopt pathways, will need how to do level 1, will need how to level 2. So even new clubs that they start, if they can do these, just find 4 members to do these 2 levels, 3 discipline goals are achieved. As a division director, as an area director, your goals are achieved, right? There are 2 administrative goals, even if they don't add members. Yes, if they can add members, better it is. Okay, so shall I move on? Is it okay? Right? All right. So now, how to conduct the training? Is there any idea that you have as to, or thoughts as to how to do the training? Maybe we can discuss for 5 minutes or so. Then I will share my suggestions on how to take this forward. Trainers who would want to take this, any idea? What if this session was not there, how would you have done it? Yes, I can't see who spoke.
Shantanu, it's me.
Okay,
Shantanu.
Shantanu, yeah, please go ahead.
For the starters, we could engage the audience, wherein like the way you did it right now, that's something which I follow for my trainings. Okay, let's say like you asked a generic question that how many what are the paths in level 2 and what all do you know about level 2? So not exactly the same thing, but then I would go like, so we have people who are going to level 2. Now what would you like to see in your level 2? Are you aware of the paths which are there or not? So it's engaging with them, talking with them before we actually come onto the training, that this is what it is and this is how you would do it. But otherwise, it's starting with the conversation, making it at ease. That's the first thing which I always do.
Excellent, Shantanu. Then how would you move forward, Shantanu, if I may probe you a little deeper?
Sure. So once this is done, when people start communicating and they wake up from the sleep and they come and start learning and things. So then I would actually go ahead and showcase what you have done in level 1 was for the starters. That is, you've learned how to craft your speech, you've learned how to do this, you learn how to use your hand gestures and things like these. Now level 2, you'll actually focus on a few things. Everyone has heard that Toastmasters is about leadership and communication. But what is it about? So in the parts which you would do in level 2, which has mentoring, which has leadership, which has communication, so you're going to learn about those parts and then go slowly and gradually. And once I set this pace, and then I'll keep on talking about everything. So that's how I would take it.
Okay, I think that's a good approach, very good approach. I did read Inderjit saying that ask questions, introduction. Yeah, the basic thing as a trainer we do is to make the audience relax a bit, right? Not tense up.
Yep.
And
Yes.
asking question can be dangerous because if you are challenging their knowledge, then they may drop out as well. So there must be a good method to ask questions if you want to ask questions. It should not be that you are challenging their knowledge and because they don't know about Toastmasters, they should not feel otherwise. So it has to be asked in a very encouraging manner. As trainers, we know that, but I'm just trying to reiterate the statement. Just don't come in and say, how many paths are there, or how many, so even the tone and all. Yeah. So I've seen some trainers do that, but maybe not the right approach. Yeah, Alpha, you wrote that have a portion of crafting their rough speech, maybe. Very well said, Alpha. So we have to, what we need to do as trainers, and that's what I do personally, I don't know what others do, is not to say what to do. It is very easy to say what to do. Okay, so please hear me out on this. Never say, and never just say, not never say, never just say what to do. As educated individual, they know what to do. Okay, they may not know their objectives, they may not know the finer points, but our effort should be to help them how to do it. Okay, there's a difference between what and how. Therefore, the title of this slide also is how to conduct the training. I have not put in what to do to conduct the training. Okay. So if there are any other thoughts, then I can move forward. Anybody might want to write something, Devendra or anybody else, Vijendra or Dipesh. Anybody wanting to
Okay.
add some?
Hi,
Yeah.
hi, Devendra here. So the way
Yeah.
you said, like how to conduct, so there is no a straightforward answer. Just like one colleague of mine just said, asking questions or like brainstorming. I think we need to connect with them. We need to understand like where they are coming from. Like first of all, by asking few basic questions, you can gauge them, gauge that particular thing, and then you can structure your questions and involvement as per that. For example, if I get to know that my audience is basically office going population who are concentrating on growth in their careers, and for that they have joined Toastmasters. So in that case, I will connect it with their workplace requirement, like how this particular leadership module is going to help them at their workplace. Or maybe if it is a, like, let's say presentation mastery, and that person wants to become a good public speaker, so that how can he engage the wider audience by this particular project and the way he should deliver it. That will arise a curiosity in that person, and he will be keen to listen that what is coming after that. Thank you.
Excellent, Devendra. Excellent. Wonderfully said. Great. So anybody else wants to put in a word? Yes, Dipesh?
So my thought is adding up all those suggestions from previous Toastmasters. What I also want to add would be maybe kind of sharing some silly mistakes that I did or my team members did during the preparation of the speech or delivery of the speech or something like that. That might be one of the major icebreaker for me to connect with my audience. So I think I'll be adding up that part.
Excellent. Excellent, Dipesh. As a trainer, you must talk about failures. And that will achieve multiple objectives. One of them is to make the audience realize that, hey, even the trainer makes mistakes, right? So we are just normal human beings. We can also make mistakes. Manya wrote that introduce ice-breaking activities, excellent. Make everyone acquainted with the agenda and what may come up. Level 1 brief, very good. At least you catch up on, even Devendra talked about it, how you have crafted your speech at level 1. What was your learning? How did you learn? And then what level 2 is about, excellent. What is level 2? What? Yes. And then give a brief about level 2 project 1 and proceed. Very well done. So we'll move on that. Yes, Alpha?
I actually had a question. So, are we
Okay.
assuming that the audience or the participants will have read the manual, or do we have to give a brief about the project too? I was just thinking, if we make them like, if we ask them to draft their rough speech,
I
then
was hoping somebody will raise this. Yes, it is very, very important. Otherwise, why come to a Toastmasters meeting, right? If you are not walking them through the manual, then it is of no use. So please remember that you must do this. So let me go there. I think the points that I've written on the slide, you have all covered it. You all are excellent trainers, and we will sort of go through how we will get to knowing or understanding how to help our members. As we said right now also, you are free to use your own method, free to use your own style, but it must meet your objective, right? Just because, say, Division A did it in one style, Division B does not need to do it in the same style, or Division D has done it in one method, Division E does not need to do it in that same way. It depends on the trainer also, right? Like I did that level 1. If you have liked it, you do not need to replicate that in the same manner, but use the good practices and maybe make it your own, right? Similarly, that's why I'm saying that we have 8 trainers who will do communication style. I would love to have that recorded and compare, and then maybe there's something nice that comes out of that 8 trainers. Maybe everybody will have their good points and take it forward, right? So as a trainer, there is, as Devendra said, there is no thumb rule, all right? The only thumb rule is that at the end of your training, you must meet the objective of your training. That the members go back being able to craft the 3 speeches. I repeat, they must have a rough sketch of the 3 speeches that they are going to give, so that if they do have it, then they will book slots in the clubs and give speeches, right? And one of the methods that I do as a mentor is that I help the mentee craft speeches, 3 speeches, 4 speeches as one go. I do not do one speech at a time because it's wastage of time. Unless the mentee has only 10 minutes and says that I need mentoring in 10 minutes, give me a capsule and I want to gulp it down and suddenly I know how to do the speeches. So there are mentees like that as well, but a good mentee will never do that, right? So my suggestions, okay? These are my suggestions. I'm calling it my again. It need not be your way to do it. Okay, so these are my suggestions. The first one, as Alpha pointed out, walk them through the manual. Online meeting, I'll show you the manuals also. It's open in my PDF folder, which I'll do after this. Walk them through, okay? Page number 1, this is there. Page number 2, this is there. Page number 3, this is what it talks about. You don't have to read the entire manual, but help them guide. In some projects, they need to do a pre-evaluation. In some, they have to fill up a questionnaire, especially in leadership style. You need to walk them through. This is what it does. Then you put the project checklist or the objectives and read that portion out as to what is expected of the member to do that. So I'll do that once the slide is over. I'll go through that. But the first thing that my suggestion is, once we have done the introduction, once they have been comfortable, once they know, okay, level 1 has been done, how difficult, easy what was. So once they are relaxed, once you jump into it, then you say that, okay, maybe you can show the matrix then and say that these are these kind of projects there. And then when you come to the first speech or second speech or whatever. And what I feel is that there is no thumb rule to say that you have to do communication first, you have to do leadership for a second, and you have to do mentoring third. No, when you give speeches, that's what you do. But when you train, maybe you might want to take mentoring first, or vice versa. But you need to still tell them that you have to do project number 1. It is suggested that you do project number 1 before you move on to project number 2, though there are different. Okay. But some members might want to do project 2 before they want to do project 1. So it's up to them, right? So the first thing to do is walk them through the manual. Second, which is the most important part, is, even as Deepesh was saying, share your own experience. That's why as a PQD team, we had requested that if you have done that path, then only choose that. Because if you have done that level 2, then you know what were the challenges, what was your experience to prepare, how the speech was given, where did you fail, and the lessons learned. That portion is very important. If you were to give that project again, how would you do it? I feel that that component is very important. So I'll read this again. Please share your experience, okay, of doing that project, not all 3 projects, one by one. You'll be going one by one, right? If you take up communication style, share your experience of how you prepared for that. Maybe you didn't know how to think about the topic. You didn't know what to do, so on and so forth, right? So share your experience, right? How it was easy or difficult to, maybe you might want to mention, if you had taken mentoring, that mentoring helped me, asking people help me, because that is a crucial element that people forget, right? To prepare speeches. And if you do say so, even if you have not taken it, you might want to tell a white lie, but the next time you do level 2, please take mentoring. Make sure that you take help, right? And prepare. Or maybe that is the lesson learned, that I did not take help while doing project level 2. If I had taken help, my speech would have been better. You can say that as well. Or some, as Deepesh was saying, silly mistakes that you make. This would make the new member, I'm reiterating the word new member, comfortable that even a trainer did make mistakes. Or maybe you can even say that I was not happy with the speech that I gave. Sometimes it happens, right? That you prepare and plan and give, or sometimes you don't prepare and plan, and that is the lesson learned, right? Or you think that maybe I could have done better. So this component is something that I feel is very, very crucial. Once that is done, then this is where you ask them how to make that speech. If it is communication style, the general way that I do it, even for level 1, is the same thing. Ask them to pick up 3-4 life events that reflects the objective of the speech. So if it is communication, ask them to pick up 3-4 areas, because they have now gone through the manual, that they know that in one area they were very harsh, in one they were very soft, or maybe the parent was very soft, or you got reprimanded that you shouted. So what happened when you shouted? So different communication style comes into it. And once they are able to pick those life events, maybe when you were a child, maybe when you're in student, maybe in college days, go through that timeline. Ask them to identify 3 or 4 life events that maybe reflects different style of communication. And you might want to refer them back to the manual, saying that, okay, these are the 4 communication styles. Maybe which one do you think, at which part? Oh, it was in college when I spoke to the dean, I shouldn't have done that. Or maybe this is when I did that, or this really worked. We were doing an event and we had to collect sponsorship. And when we went to the sponsor, this is how I spoke. I normally don't speak that way, but on that particular day, I spoke like this and we got sponsorship or something like that. Or in your professional life, as you became Toastmaster, you were called to do a training, and then you had to adapt, because as a trainer and a speaker is different. And this is how I adapted. And then I realized that if you do this way, or even after you give the speech, this communication style is much better. So ask them to identify. So if it is leadership also, ask them to identify 3-4 life events. If it is mentoring also, in the mentoring, the project is all about their experience as a mentee, right? So maybe when were their mentees and what did they learn while they were a child, while they were in school, in high school, in college, while you're doing your PhD, masters, or whatever, or in your early professional life or late professional life, or after having a child, or after having 2 child, or maybe after having 5 child, whatever, or maybe marrying twice, or maybe marrying the 5th time, whichever way you do it. Ask them to pick up 3 to 4 life events that reflects the objective. Can this be done by the trainers? This is my suggestion. Again, you don't need to follow it, but if you do it, I think it might make your life easy. Okay? And once you
It
do
was a
that,
very nice.
sorry, please go ahead.
I was just adding that this life events is actually a good idea to proceed with. The storytelling, people really participate also.
Yeah. So I'm just building on what I did for level 1. There also I do the same thing, and it makes it very, very easy. You don't tell them that they are crafting a speech. You just ask them to pick up life events. It helps them immensely, greatly, so much better. And once they picked up that life event, then you help them to create a structure. Structure means, again, organizing. Make them put it onto 3 points. Ask them to do an opening, ask them to do a closing, right? And then only ask them to give them a title. Many members start with the topic, starts with the title, right? My bad days in college, or my worst days as a professional. So once you do that, you're already stuck with that topic. Crafting a speech becomes easy when you go reverse. That's my experience. Again, as I said, you may have a better way to do it. All right. My way is I first ask my mentees or whoever to choose life events and then structure it. Once you structure it, you already have a message, right? If you have a message, then your title becomes very easy. Aren't we supposed to do that in level 1? Become confident. The second project in level 1 is to have purpose. That's where you have to have a message in your speech, right? And the third and the fourth is about basically vocal variety and body language and so on and so forth, right? So then ask them that you learn whatever you learned in level 1, as even Mani and others were saying, add them moving forward. This, in my way of doing it, has been easy. This is the way to help them how to craft these 3 speeches. 20 minutes, 25 minutes for each project. If you need more time, maybe maximum half an hour. You must be able to practice yourself in a manner in which one project, maybe the introduction part, something would take 15-20 minutes. So in 90 minutes, you have 70 minutes left. In that 70 minutes, use 20 minutes each so that you still have a 10-minute buffer time to wrap up or do some Q&A or whatever. So depending on how you want to do it. But the key I feel on helping members is to walk them through the manual, make sure that you share your experiences, how you did it, so that then there's a connect by the member saying that, okay, this trainer has done it this way, and maybe it can be done in many other ways. This was the learning, and this is the to-dos and not to-dos, or whatever you want to say it. And then you get them to write the speeches. But you don't tell them, now you're going to write a speech. Once you tell them, again, they'll go off, right? But just ask them to pick up 3-4 life events. And maybe you yourself will find it easy to do level 2 of a 3rd part or a 4th part if you have chosen one. Then comes the structure, the organizing part, the opening, body, and the conclusion. Have a message, make sure that the message is there, and give them a title, topic. Once you do that, then structure is made. Encourage them to talk to the mentor, to discuss with the mentor. And as the project requires, before the speech, talk to the evaluator also. That is also important, right? And once you do that, you basically ask them to book the speaking slots with the VP. In your training, if you can, this is the action part, right? In your training, if they say that, okay, I'm going to do level 2 in the next 2 months, you are successful as a trainer, right? Okay, on January 7th, this is my club meeting. I'm going to do my, okay, I've done one project of level 2. I'm going to do the second on January 7th and the third on January 31st, or whatever, you know, they'll complete that level. Your job is not just to train them how to do it, but also ensure that they do complete level 2. It is just about asking them, please book your slots. If you can do it within the training, it helps, right? You may not have all the members do it. Even if 10%, 15% does it, you are basically identifying those 4 people in each club, right? Everybody will not do it. Don't expect everybody to do it, right? In every division, there are more than 100 members who are on either on not onboarded pathways or are on level 1. If 4 divisions are getting together, your total target audience is 400 people who are yet to adopt pathways or are on level 1, as the data suggests. Try and bring as many as possible. It will help you only, right? There's so much of gap right now, and I hope that this helps to make sure that we will be able to help them. This is from my side on how to do it. Please let me know any comments, any suggestions on what to do, how to do, or make it better. Any suggestion, comments are welcome. You don't need to maybe write down these. I will have the PKD team drop it in the trainers part and ensure. I don't know those who did not attend this training, whether receiving the PowerPoint presentation will be enough, or maybe watching this video later can be of use. Hopefully they do. Members who will attend your training will thank you, will bless you. Even if 4 people do that, your life goals will be achieved. Any discussion, comments? I'll stop the screen share and maybe I'll just show the manuals while we discuss.
So I have a question.
Okay.
Yeah, so many times we say that in pathways it's not necessary that we have a linear progression, like after level 1 we go to level 2. So if we get a target audience among people like the members who haven't completed the level 1 yet and they are like completed 1 or 2 or maybe not even touched the pathways. So how are we going to tackle with them? Should we suggest them to straight away start with level 2 because it's important that they at least give the icebreaker speech and proceed in a linear progression because that's the ideal way to at least touch the level part, at least 1 or 2 projects. So how do we target those people who are not even ventured into the pathways yet to make sense of the things then?
Good. So this particular training that you're going to do as the first training could be an experiment. It will be to ensure that you also learn how to tackle the training part. And your target audience will be primarily those who have done or are doing level 1. But there is no harm in also having members who are yet to onboard pathways also join, because they will get an insight as to what to do. And maybe they see level 2, how it is being done. It is so easy. Possibly they'll get on board on pathways and do level 1 also. Like in a judges training, we say that it is not the potential judges only who should attend, but even contestants should attend, or even normal members should attend, because they will know how the judging is going to be done. No. So that is my thought process. it doesn't need to be just those who have completed level 1 who is there. The divisions or the areas will have access from the district central to download the members' data. It is updated regularly, and you know how many members are on which path and which level. It's just once you download the Excel, it will be in CSV file. You just need to convert it into an Excel file, put a pivot table, or even just do a normal ascending descending order. And you'll find members who are yet to onboard, who are in level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, so many pathways, everything will be there. So you just need to, if you're not a district officer, you need to ask your area director or a division director for the data. If that is there, then we are good.
Yeah, I think that
Does
data
that
will
answer
give
your
us a
question?
complete picture. Yeah,
Sorry?
yeah, I think that data will give the complete picture then. Firstly, we can analyze and
Yes,
then say.
yes, yes, yes. Absolutely. So if you can see, I have the manuals here, right? So this is normally the first project of level 2, and you just walk them through like this, you know. So if here you just stop and say, what is the theme, what is the introduction, and what is the assignment is supposed to be there, and what tell them that you need to complete this, read through page number 5, you know, discover your communication style, so on and so forth, and identify and tell them, you know, this is telling part that your communication style can be direct, can be initiating, can be supporting, and can be analytical. 4 of them. Give your example, how you are analytical, if you were, how supportive you were. If you give, you know, just have a conversation around this. Sorry. They will understand that they'll need to think in this line, and adapting to communication style, so that if you walk through the manual, they'll know that they'll need to read this, right? And you say that you need to complete your assignment, and then you show this and say that this is what you need to do, right? And once you show this, then you tell them how to construct. After this, you say, okay, figure out 3-4 life events, where you have had different kind of communication. And while they're saying it, you might want to turn back and say that which one is direct, which one is initiating, which one is supporting. Yeah? So if you use the manual as the anchor, they'll know that, okay, I need to refer to this manual. I've seen many members who do not know the existence of this manual. Oh, I've given 3 speeches. Which are they? Oh, I need to check. You know, so we have different kind of members, and we are appealing to all of them, and we're showing them the way. And once you have done that, and the last line that I showed, then you also say that you need to give this evaluation form, right, to your evaluator. Talk to your evaluator, talk to your mentor. And you also guide them saying that you'll be evaluated in this. In your speech, have clarity. Where do you bring your vocal variety? You know, what is your eye contact, gesture? Everything Toastmasters International has already given. You just need to walk them through. You know, so they also know how to use the manual, right? And you do that, and it's done. You know, so scoring sheet is there. Then once that they have done the 3-4 events, then you come up to the next one, saying that, okay, now we'll deal with level 2, second or third, whatever you want to do it in your way, leadership style. They'd also walk them through, right? So on and so forth. You do this, attributes of a successful leader. And please ask them to fill this questionnaire. Tell them, you know, make it interesting that, do you know your leadership style? You'll be very, very interesting to figure it out. You may think that you are democratic, then you suddenly find that you are an autocratic leader. You know, so make them do it, right? But don't make them do it during your training. They can do it later, but show them, okay? So this is what it is, and then stop here. Tell them this is exactly what you need to do, right? And this is where you tell them how to craft a speech. Stop and then get into pick up 3-4 life events, ask them to sew it together. Then comes the structure and the title, purpose and title. Again, you repeat the same thing. And once you do that, show them the evaluator sheet again. This is how you'll be evaluated. Make sure, again, there is clarity, vocal variety, this, so on and so forth. So they'll get the drift, no? Once you do it, then the second project will be easier. The third project might be much more easier. Then you say that this is very important. I always say that when it comes to mentoring. And many people do not know that in Toastmasters, if you want to be a member, a mentor, this paragraph many people have not read. To become a mentor, a member must be in good standing for at least 6 months. Complete an entire path. Let me blow it up so that you can also see it. Have you ever seen this? I don't know whether you have seen it or not, but I feel it is very important. Look at this. 6 months, complete an entire path and successfully complete mentorship training with positive evaluation from protegees. Each mentorship commitment lasts for a period of 6 months. So as a district officer, if you have not completed a path, then you must, so that you know how to mentor, right? And your clubs are going to be strong only if you have good mentors. So you can show it like this. Yeah? Depends on what you want to stress, so on and so forth. And then again, walk them through this, right? They might find this interesting enough. Even if you just show, they'll see what needs to be done. And you say that it is so simple to do this project because you just need to share your experience as a mentee. Then come back again and say that, can you think about 3 or 4 instances where you had your mentee moment, or what you learned from a mentor, or other way around? Do you know that you had indirect or direct mentor? Do you remember a teacher that taught you something that you still remember, or your parents said something, or whatever, So if they have 3 or 4 points, then ask them to put it into a structure, give them a message, a title, the speech is done. Then make a point that they must share this with their mentor or their evaluator. Give the evaluator this form. Ask them not to forget it, or have that discussion. Just walk them through. I think this is good enough. Comments, please.
I have a question with regard to mentoring program.
Right.
Yeah. So in the mentorship project, it's required, like the project target is to ensure like how Toastmasters envisions mentoring, and the member has to share a speech of their experience as a prodigy. So if we imagine a case, like of course we can share life events or maybe in a prodigy in some other area of life, maybe as a student or maybe as a college student or some other area. So, because the member was not allotted a mentor, so is that speech also acceptable under this? Because many people have this question because its title
Yeah.
itself speaks.
No problem, no problem. Because what you need to remember is that the member is new. They do not know. Your audience are new members or are on level 1, or maybe just became a member, right? So then they will start exploring good mentors also, no? But for the speech, they can think about any instance where they had been in a position as a mentee. And there'll be so many. Just ask them, just give your example. Like for me, if I think right now itself, I would say that from my uncle, what I learned was he taught me without teaching. Okay, so I can put it in any words. So which means that he never instructed me to do this way, but somehow I did it that way, particular way, which means that he was helping me, but I really did not know that he was helping me. Right. So that is my mentee moment. Right. Or maybe from my, let's say, my teacher, okay, in school. My headmaster then in my school, Mr. M.B. Banerjee, if you put in names, it will add value to it, right? And say that he used to tell me that this young guy has a big head on very frail soldiers. What he meant was that whenever I did something, I used to do it with a lot of thought. And that stuck with me even later in my life, because no matter what I did, I used to think a lot before doing something. In some areas it helped, in some areas it did not. Because in some areas it helped because it helped me to think through that problem and make sure that I was more perfect in doing things. In some areas it did not, because I overthought, and sometimes more analysis causes paralysis. So you can take it anywhere you want, right? And then you can ask the mentee, what were your moments? Right?
This helps a lot. Yeah, makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah. The other thing could be, my daughter is my mentor. I am her mentee. Where, if I need to do anything on Insta, she's the person I go to. Okay. So you can put it on a lighter note as well. So you can learn from everyone, not just seniors, not just age difference, but from anyone. You can learn from your peers as well. So you can have like 10 instances, life instances in 10 minutes, if you do the training properly. People will start to think, no? Does it help, Manya?
Yeah, thank you for the idea. I got it better hand of it.
Okay, we are about to close this meeting. If there are no additional comments or anything that you would like to say, was this helpful? Would you be able to do the training your way? Yes, Dipesh, you raised your hand.
Yes. So just a small thought that I had, like my mind is
Okay.
thinking about it. So a couple of years back, Toastmaster Brizendra did this session called Calendar in Founders Toastmasters Club. So can we add something like a calendar towards the end of our sharing session or the training, where we can, so the dates where, as Toastmaster Suman said earlier, maybe we can actually share a calendar to the participants and like make them in their thought process itself to block or date, visualizing a calendar itself in a screen, so that it might be
Absolutely.
more effective. Yeah.
It works. As I said, any method is good till the time it meets the objective. Anyway, when I do mentoring or when I talk to my mentees, I ask them, in 1 year, how many speeches can you give? You know, it puts them in an uncomfortable position, right? If they say only 1, 2, that means they're not utilizing their money's worth as a member, right? And I ask them, can you do 6 speeches in a year? Which means once in 2 months. And so the human psychology automatically says that, no, I can do more, right? So then you say that, okay, maybe if you do not consider the festivals, the New Year's, maybe you can do 9 speeches a year. And they will say yes. And that is where the calendar comes in. All right. Ask them to plot what are the 9 speeches they can do. And the reason why I'm saying 9 speeches is, it is exactly that many speeches will take to help them complete level 1 and level 2 for new members. So they get their money's worth as a member also, right? As a member, those who do it faster would do it quicker. Maybe they can finish it in 6 months or even 3 months for that matter. But if you, it depends on how you ask, right? So if you ask a new member, why did they join Toastmasters? They'll say that I want to improve my communication. Maybe that's for seniors, they want to do leadership. So ask them, in 1 year, how many speeches can you give? They will never say 1. They'll never say 2. They'll say at least 3, 4. Right? So then ask them, then that means you are not utilizing your money's worth. Ask them to give 1 speech a month, which they want. Don't say 1 speech a month. Just say that, debarring the festival, Dasai Tiyar in Nepal, or Dasara or Diwali in India, or other festivals, Christmas and others, and the New Year or whatever it is, let's say that in 3 months you don't do. But you can definitely do 9 speeches in a year. Take that commitment. If they can do 9 speeches, a new member will be able to complete 2 levels. I hope that helps. Yeah, Alpha.
So I had a question about, there's a project that requires some activity to be done by the member. So it is not like a past event that they can reflect on and write a speech about. I was wondering if you have any tips on what
is
to
it for
do.
level 2? It is not for level 2, right?
No, it is for level 2.
Which one? Which project?
That is the managing time, where like you have to keep track of your time management. So the project says that you keep track of your time and then you give
leadership
a speech
development.
Yes. So it's
Okay.
probably that you have to do.
Okay. Maybe I can take it separately there. If I understand the objective of that project, because I do not know, I have not explored leadership development, but it can be tackled. If you know the objective, it is fairly easy. If you see that I focused on 3 most common ones, the mentoring, communication, and leadership, which will cover at least 8 parts, 7 parts, so to say, most often. But we can have a separate discussion on if I know the objective, maybe I can help you guide as to how to do that as well. So I don't know exactly what the objective means. If I can understand that, if you can share the project, good question. Thank you, Alpha. As I said, I may not have all the answers, but I'll make sure that I'll come back with one. Anybody else? Otherwise, we'll call it a day.
Suman sir,
We are. Yeah, Abhishek.
with your permission, maybe stop the recording. And if the members would like to continue post that, we can continue, or we can
Okay.
close.
Okay. Yeah. So this training session is informally over for today. Please stop the recording, and maybe we can